Hello again. Time to review another yarn. This is called Patons Theo. Hey Theo. Hello there. It is a super bulky yarn. Hand wash, lay flat to dry. Oh, and you can read more about this yarn on their website, www.yarnspirations.com. Let's see here. There's 35 meters, or 39 yards. You'd need a size 15 knitting needle, which is 10 millimeters, and you'll get 6 stitches per 4 inches. When you make a 4-inch gauge, you'll get 6 stitches across. If you want to crochet with this yarn, it says to use a size N or 15 crochet hook, 10 millimeter. And I don't have an N, but I have a P and I have an M, so I'll probably try with the M hook on this. It says you'll get 6 single crochets in a 4-inch gauge swatch. So the color I have is called Apricot Cream. This is 45% wool, 45% acrylic, 10% nylon. Each skein is 100 grams or 3.5 ounces. Made in Turkey, packaged in Canada. 1 ball makes a hat. 3 balls makes a scarf. So those are the details. Let's get to know this yarn. And one thing I noticed about this yarn is that it's already ready to pull from the center as soon as you start using it. It's sitting there hanging for you to grab, so I love that about this yarn. I wish they did that on all their yarn. It's ready to pull from the center. Yay! Thank you, Yarnspirations! I love that. It just goes pull, pull, pull. Awesome. It's excellent. So anyway, I'm going to try to knit with it first and see how that goes. Oh, if you're wondering what this orange thing is over here, that's a little bag that I use to store a knitting project or a crochet project. It's just, I think I found it in a thrift shop one day, and I like bright, happy colors. See my nails? Orange? I love bright, happy colors. So let's try to knit. I'm going to try with the bamboo needle, size 15, 10 millimeter, and see how this works with a bamboo needle. This is a what you would consider an eyelash yarn, but it's constructed a little bit different from what I'm used to seeing. Usually the eyelashes all just go off to one direction, but with this yarn the thread goes down through the middle and the eyelashes go out both ways. So it's kind of interesting how it's made. A little bit of a different construction. And it makes a fluffy fabric. You'll find some patterns on the Yarnspirations website. I think I saw one pattern to make a hat with furry lining, so like a trapper hat. That was pretty cool. Now this feels okay next to the skin, but it's not super soft. It just feels regular, if that's any help to you at all in understanding what it is. How can I compare what this feels like? It's not rough like a carpet. It's not like that. It is soft enough where, you know, it feels good in the hand, but it doesn't feel amazing. You know what I mean? It's not like really soft. It's just feels kind of like a stuffed animal. Not one of the newer, really soft stuffed animals, but one of the older. It's a little bit sturdier than that. It's not really a delicate yarn. It's a sturdier yarn than that. Even though it is hand wash and it says lay flat to dry, I would probably put it in a laundry bag, a lingerie bag, and wash it in cold water, and then either lay it flat to dry or just dry it in the delicate cycle with air only, or cool setting in the dryer. It might work. You could try it with a swatch and see how it turns out for you. So now we can see how the fabric looks. I'm going to try to to purl a row and see if it really makes any difference at all in the appearance. I don't think it really will make much difference at all. Maybe I'd need to do more than 2 rows of stockinette, but at least we'll have 1 row to look at and see how it looks. But it is an eyelash furry yarn, so I don't really see the point in using the purl stitch to make stockinette fabric. I was talking to somebody the other day, and she said that she has a friend that does not know how to knit. She only knows how to purl. I thought that was interesting. She only purls. She said, I just don't understand the knit stitch. I think that's so funny. Anyway, everybody has their own way of doing their crafting. If all you can do is purl, then you go right ahead. You can do everything in garter stitch, because it will be garter stitch if you purl every stitch, or if you just knit every stitch. The fabric will be the same. Alright. There. So I did garter stitch down here, and I did stockinette up here, and there's really not much difference at all. It just looks like the fabric's a little bit thicker, tiny bit thicker in garter stitch than it is in stockinette. So now you've seen how that works, how it looks, and it has a good feel to it. I think it would be good for like a fluffy sweater or a fluffy vest, or you could make a jacket with it, but it wouldn't be very thick. It would make a light jacket, or a scarf, of course. And it'd make a fun fluffy hat, but you know, it's not incredibly fluffy. It would just be a nice fluff to it. It would be good to make a bear, a stuffed animal, or to make a hat, a bear hat for a child or a baby to wear. That'd be cute. Or to make a trapper hat like they've made the pattern on the Yarn Inspirations website. That'd be cool, because it does have that look like a trapper hat on the inside, the furry part. It'd be good to make boot cuffs. They make good boot cuffs. That would work well with this yarn. So all you designers out there, get to work making some boot cuffs, because those are hot right now. I don't know if they'll be hot next year, but they are right now. Oh, it unravels very easily. I'm surprised. Oh, it did get stuck here at one spot. I spoke too soon. I jinxed myself. I should have knocked on wood when I said that. So now I'm going to try to crochet with this size M hook. Let's see how that goes. I'm assuming that this is going to crochet easily, because there is a thread, a binding thread, that helps you feel the yarn as you work with it. But I don't know. When I do the next row, we'll find out. Sometimes it's hard to find the stitches in yarn like this. Yeah. It goes in there because of that binding thread. It does make it easier to feel the stitches, but you can't see them. You have to feel it. Kind of hard still. There it is. I can feel the spot there. So the first row is kind of hard with single crochet. Let's see, here's the next one. Can't really tell if I pulled it through or not. Yes, not quite as friendly with crochet as it was with knitting. Takes a little bit more work, and it could be this crazy hook I have. So there's that. Now let's do another row of crochet, see how that feels. I really don't like this hook. I hate to say that, but I don't, because it's got sharp edges on it. I feel like I'm tearing my yarn as I work with it. So I don't really recommend this hook. It is, I hate to say it, but I don't. Susan Bates. It has a wood handle. It feels good in the hand, but this thing has such sharp edges right through there, and it'll cut your yarn if you're not careful, I'll bet. Just don't feel safe with it. So anyway, back to the yarn. The crochet does make a really thick, fluffy fabric. Very sturdy. See how it stands up on its own? So it's a really thick fabric when you crochet it. This would make a good jacket. If you crocheted the whole thing, you can make a nice jacket. If you made a scarf with this, it would be a really stiff scarf. Now, let me see what kind of fabric it makes with a thicker crochet hook. Because you know I don't have a size N hook, which is what they recommend. But I'm going to try with a size P hook. Because I was using a hook that was too small just now. So that could be why it was standing up so stiff on its own. Now this does feel better with a plastic hook. And I don't feel like I'm tearing the fabric either. I have no idea what kind of hook this is. There's no name on it. No idea. I got this a long time ago. Back before I even learned how to crochet, I got this. Well, back before I really learned how to crochet right. I'll put it that way. I did crochet a little when I was young, but I was just winging it back then. Kind of faking it. Now I'm trying to figure it out, and hopefully I'm doing it right. I like the way my stuff looks better now than it did when I was younger. And I'm taking my time and figuring out how the stitches actually work now instead of just forcing it to work. Because it used to be, I would read a pattern and I'd be like, well, that didn't make sense. I'm going to do this, you know. But now I actually try to do what the pattern says. And amazingly, my projects look better now. So even with a P hook, you still have to feel the stitches to find where to put your hook to do crochet. So if you want to crochet with this, go right ahead, but it's hard to work with, especially for the first row. It might be better for the second. I'm going to try the second row in a second and see how it feels. And like I said, it's not a very soft fabric. It's an okay fabric. I think it would be easy to do an increase by accident with this yarn, because it's hard to tell if you're feeling the next stitch or the same stitch you just worked in. So I think it will be real easy to make an accidental increase. So you would have to count your stitches if you're following a pattern. Yeah, I'm still having trouble even on the second row finding and feeling where the stitches are. I'm really just kind of guessing. So anyway, I'm not going to do the whole row. But once again, it still makes a stiff product. See how stiff the fabric is? It stands up on its own. So even with a P hook, which is too large, it still makes a very stiff fabric. It will be good for making a stuffed animal or something like that. Or a jacket, like I was talking about. Make a good jacket in crochet, but once again, it's hard to feel the stitches, and it's hard to see the stitches, so yeah, I think it would work better with knitting. So there you go. That's my review of Patons Theo yarn. It's a fun, kind of a novelty thing, but it's not too hard to work with, especially with knitting. So there you go. Talk to you later. Bye.